Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Brawlin with Brett. Thanks for tuning in. So, if you're watching this now, this is video 2 for Garruk. We're going to play some more Garruk Cursed Huntsman today. We started out on Monday of this week. We went through the deck, and then we had a mirror match for our first game, and it was a pretty good game. Our opponent managed to take us out, and they really just played a very similar deck to us, and we got blown out by the cards. I'm hoping to blow other people out, so they managed to get both Nissa and Liliana out on us. They finished us off with the finale of Eternity X equals 10. So it was pretty cool to watch. Ideally, though, we want me to be doing those things. So we're going to launch into it. We're going to play a couple more games with Garruk. So we're recording this the Wednesday before Theros releases, so this is kind of the final hurrah for this version of Garruk. I should say, if you didn't catch the first video, check me out on MTG Study Hall. We got all sorts of video on TCG University, and if you haven't seen the Monday video, I'd recommend it. It gives more context, and I go into the deck a little bit more in depth. So let's take a look at our hand here. Okay, our opponent's going first, so we're gonna draw an extra card. We have a really good 1-drop, 2 lands, and an ability to draw an extra card if we can get that. I really like this hand. We're gonna give this a go. This might be kind of a risky keep. Well, oh gosh, we're against Niv Mizzet Reborn, which if you've watched any of my Brawlin with Brett videos, you know is probably my least favorite deck in the format. Not just because it's good. I don't have a problem with good things. It's just almost always just a nonsense pile of good stuff. It is just a play Niv Mizzet on turn 5, draw an absurd amount of cards, and just absolutely outvalue your opponents. Like, there are decks that can beat it in the format. I don't want to act like there's, like, no hope, but generally you just pack it full of 2-color haymakers that people can't really answer, and just win. So on this wasn't our most fastest opener we've ever had. It wasn't a crazy blitz. We didn't have a good 2-drop, but our opponent has gotten to play ramp, a planeswalker, and now gets to play potentially a turn 4 Niv Mizzet and draw a great deal of cards while we are kind of puttering along. Again, it's all hope is not lost, but it's kind of hard to deal with. So. Okay, Tome of the Guild Pact. We at least don't have to face the Niv Mizzet right this second. We're going to get rid of their Vraska. Don't let them get any more value out of that Planeswalker. And then we can play the Wicked Wolf as a depressing 3/3. Or we can keep the Foulmare Knight up and just instant speed it. And, pretend we have some removal spell. Maybe they'll think about what they're going to do here. Probably not. I can't imagine they don't just jam Niv Mizzet, draw a card off the Tome of the Guild Pack, and fill their hand up with more ridiculous. Yep, and there we go. So it's all is not completely lost necessarily. Let's see how many our opponent's going to draw here. Oh, that looks like a lot. That looks like a lot. Oh boy. Okay. They drew 6. Our opponent drew 6 cards. And has a 6/6 flyer. Exciting. Oh boy. This one is probably done. I know Wizards has had to ban a lot of cards this season, and more bans just make them look bad, and I don't think... well, I think Wizards has clearly demonstrated Brawl is not something they particularly care about. It's more of a bone they've thrown to say, hey, Commander on Arena. If you pay any attention to me on this channel, you know I have a lot of opinions about how great of a format Brawl is, and I'm quite willing to talk about them ad nauseum. But if you're watching a show where I play Brawl, I feel like this is the audience about that. So, okay, you know what? We aren't gonna subject ourselves to this. We are gonna lose this game, and I'm not gonna make you watch me lose slowly. We didn't get the 5th land. Even Anissa wouldn't have done us any good there. I don't know if I picked up my deck. This is my personal kind of test or barometer to if I feel like I should keep playing a game. If I picked up my deck and got to order it exactly how I wanted and draw whatever card I want out of it every turn, could I win the game? And I don't think I could do that from where we were in that game. We had kind of a slow start, and our opponent was playing probably the best deck in the format, and had drawn 7 cards off their Niv Mizzet. So we're just gonna let it go. Nice thing about this format where it's not ranked or anything. We can just let it go. We can say bye-bye. We're gonna take the mulligan here. We don't have any great early game. Ugh, we don't have any brilliant early game here either. We'll take that one. We'll take the mulligan down to 6. Okay, we've got some ramp here at least. We're gonna keep the 6. We're gonna say goodbye to Once in Future. That's a card that I don't think you're gonna see in the. Oh, I'm talking to you all. Garruk should have gone down there. That was a bummer. We missed out on playing our Incubation Druid there. Not a huge deal, but it's just a mistake. But like I was saying, well, actually, I misplay. I've completely lost my train of thought. Oh, that's right. We're talking about Once in Future. That is a card that I probably am I'm the least impressed with. I can't even remember what I put it in to replace. It took another card that I took a card out that wasn't performing particularly well. Oh, bye Incubation Druid. I'm not shocked for that to happen, but guess who's back? Back again. That's all I know. I don't know much more of that song. Anyway, it is the least impressive card in the deck. You are not going to see that in the new Theros version. We get to turn the deck into... we have a bigger card pool to draw out of. So unfortunately, we didn't get our 5th land, which is sad. But we're gonna do our best. We're gonna persevere. We're gonna hopefully stick our Flaxen Intruder down and take out their Chromatic Lantern next turn. So we missed our land drop, but we got to put a fair amount of creatures down. And if our opponent wants to go ahead and play Nicol Bolas next turn, I don't think activating Nicol Bolas is particularly impressive here. I think this is a pretty solid deck. I have a version of it that a listener made. I actually really like this deck, but I don't think it has a great matchup against mid-rangey decks like this. Maybe if you're doing a really heavy counter build and you can kind of take out every one of my Haymakers 1 for 1. Oh, that's not a bad one. Now, it's going to make our opponent either have to answer the Flaxen Intruder, or we're going to take the Fires of Invention 100%. That's not a card. Oh, okay. Got to think about this. I'm going to pitch the Ritual of Soot because I don't think there's probably a ton of creatures our opponent's going to be playing, and I want to keep the food in case we hadn't gotten the land. We did manage to get the land, but even so, didn't want to risk that. So, Flaxen Intruder, Order of Midnight. We aren't going in it. Well, we're going to send that in there, and we're going to send the Flaxen at our opponent. So now if our opponent wants to kill Garruk, we're going to take action here really quick, sorry, and we're going to get rid of that Fires of Invention, because that is not a card we can let our opponent have. So our opponent can -3 to destroy a Planeswalker. We're going to put Garruk down, because we can get Garruk back, and we only probably get one shot at Liliana this game. So we put ourselves into a nice situation here, where if our opponent ticks up, the food goes bye-bye, and we keep our great board. If our opponent minuses 3, they lose their Nicol Bolas, and we still got 4 power on the board for 6, and we made them send their commander to the command zone. So our opponent has a lot of cards in their hand, which is not good for us, but I don't think we're in a terrible spot at the moment. Hopefully they'll hurry up. There's only so long I can just kind of vamp with nothing happening. I guess if they're not going to do anything, we can talk about Theros. There's a lot of cards I'm really excited for. Obviously, we have the new gods, who may or may not make it into this deck. I don't know if I want Nylea and Erebos, exactly what they're doing. But we'll see. We'll definitely test with it. Oh, that's an interesting... That's a really interesting choice. Now, I'm curious if they have some other answer for Garruk. But if not, that was a bad choice in my in my humble opinion. Now, it's possible they're going to, like, do something to answer. They're also timing out. I wonder if our opponent's having some technical difficulties, which would be a bummer. Oh! That's kind of an interesting play I hadn't seen. I hadn't considered. The bring Nicol Bolas dead and then replay him, but I'm okay with that. Even if our opponent decides to take Garruk out, Nicol Bolas is going to cost an additional 4 after this, which our opponent doesn't have the mana for. So, oh wow, I find this very interesting. So we have some fun options here. Our opponent's tapped out. We didn't get the land, and since we used that last turn, we actually can't get Liliana down, which is too bad. That's okay though. I mean, this is pretty simple here, I'd say. We want to make it so they can't play their commander. We can pretty easily take over this game, I think, if we can keep Garruk on the board, which our opponent let us do. Now they don't get their commander. And I don't think there's any particularly brilliant board wipes our opponent is going to have against us here. And I'm trying to think what their options are. Ritual of Soot. Well, Ritual of Soot would actually kill us pretty dead at the moment. But it would make Garruk nice and big. Yeah, again, wow, our opponent's got really, a pretty sizable mitt there, but we've got the board state. This is still very much anybody's game, but I'm happy we're in this seat. Let's put it like that. I'm hoping we get a land. I didn't keep. We could have get the man up for the food on the Gilded Goose, but I also just kind of want to kill our opponent. And if they aren't going to, oh, interesting. Now, I think it is a mistake for our opponent to -4 here. If you watched video 1, our opponent. Oh, that. I think that was a mistake. Now it's possible our opponent is gonna get rid of our Garruk, but they. I was looking for a way to do that myself. Okay, okay. They had an answer. They had an answer. That was a good call, I'd say. Decent play, but they're still kind of. We lost 2 wolves in Garruk, and they're losing. They lost the Elder Spell and Liliana here. I just want to make sure this wolf is going at Liliana. Okay, yeah. We should be golden here. All right. Can we activate? Oh, that is. Oh man, that's a bummer. We have the Cavalier of Thorns is 3 green, and we don't have 3 green pips, and we don't have the mana to activate Garen Brig. So we're doing Lock Thwain right now, and the reason we're doing that was for that reason right there, because now we don't miss our land drop this turn, and we get to keep some mana open, so we can bluff some cards, and we get a Gilded Goose at the end of the turn. So that is. Don't be afraid to main phase things. Oh, that seems like a good card. We're gonna lose most of our board here. I'm gonna head and get that food done now. So we need to. Our opponent, has gotten to play a lot of very solid planeswalkers. We need to get this board under control. Is what we need to do. Oh, that's a good little combo there. We need to particularly deal with her because we don't want her getting those spells back. Okay. So we have a somewhat useless Lovestruck Beast at the moment. Ooh, that's a nice land pocket we just got ourselves out of. We'll grab the Jungle Hollow and get a little extra life. Okay. Looks like our opponent might be stabilizing a little bit. Chandra Awakened Inferno is probably my favorite card in Standard right now. It's just absolutely nuts. Oh, wow, okay. I think they're going to probably get us here because we're going to be very on fire. Nicol Bolas probably kills the Cavalier of Thorns. I think that's the play. Yep. Now, we need to decide if there's something... Oh, wow. We have a really lame graveyard. We're just going to decline. So... We'll look at our draw. We'll look at our draw. We'll see what we get here, but... The... This isn't looking great, team. I'll be totally honest. I think we can maybe keep Liliana alive here. Ushandra puts loyalty counters on Nicol Bolas, so we might just get if we get the shot. If we lose the Liliana, we're done. We aren't getting this one. Wow. This has been other than our oh. Woof. Okay. So our opponent has done what you need to do in Nicol Bolas, which is keep the board clear enough to do what's happening to us right now. Yeah. We'll let them finish their turn out. They might have some quests to get done here, but holy moly. Okay. 5 Planeswalkers. We aren't running the Elder Spell in this deck, which I think is the right call, but, yeah. Okay, well, our opponent's not speeding it up, so we're going to go ahead and give this one to him. And we'll do one more game for you Wednesday, folks, because we're not even counting that Niv Mizzet game whatsoever. So, wow, it's been a rough run so far. We've had good games, but, I normally have a fair amount of luck with Garruk, and so I'm a little sad to see we aren't getting there. Okay, that's nice. I'm glad. I always feel bad when I sit down and record these videos and we get the same decks again and again, so it's nice to see a different deck here. So looking at this isn't terrible, but we're going to take our free mulligan. I think you need to really mulligan aggressively in Brawl. When you get a free mulligan, there is no reason to keep a hand that's because see, now we get to do turn 1 Gilded Goose, and we can do like a turn 3 Vraska or something cool like that. So this feels like a really nice solid opener. All right, so Reese the Redeemed comes in, deciding if we want to. We'll go ahead and put this down here. I don't think we're going to put the Kraul Harpooner in just yet. Well, yeah, we're going to put the Kraul Harpooner down because we're going to Vraska next turn, and I want to have a blocker to defend our Vraska, so when we take our Vraska down, because if Amara comes in, yep, Amara's coming in, we're killing Amara. We are not going to let them get any value out of their Amara if we can stop it. So I'm going to auto-pay here, use the food, and then we are going to destroy Amara Chandris. And now, like I said, we have a nice little blocker to keep our Vraska alive. And that is why we are not attacking with the Kraul Harpooner just yet here. Okay, so that's it's a good start here. I feel like it's becoming less and less relevant for me to say I like our matchup when I keep saying that and we keep losing. Well, I guess we've only had one deck where I liked our matchup. I rarely like my matchup against Niv Mizzet. I think there are some really control-heavy decks that you can make something work with, but Niv Mizzet's the best deck in the format, and I think it should probably face a ban, if I'm being totally honest. Wizards won't do it, but that is where I think we're at. So, okay, what we're doing here is we're just ramping out, flooding the board. I don't want to pitch anything here. I don't want to pitch our 1/1 we just made, so we're just gonna bring her up to 3. No attacks again. I feel like that's kind of a weird choice to bring the World Soul Colossus in with 2 counters, but who knows? They might not have had anything particularly impressive to do against us there. I really just kind of want to play Garruk if we can. Hopefully, we'll top deck a land and we can do that. Because I think we have oh, okay. Conclave Tribunal. I'm assuming that's, yeah, I was going to say, I'm assuming that goes against, that goes on, hits Vraska. Okay, neat. Yeah, so, Garruk put a bunch of creatures on the board. I suppose we should have probably attacked with Harpooner before we did that, but I doubt it would have probably changed much. But it's never bad to play as tightly as possible. I'm gonna use the excuse of I'm talking to you all, so it's a little hard to play well, instead of the reality of me just being kind of bad sometimes. Gideon is sort of a pain in the butt. It's just a hard card to kill. Oh! Okay, our opponent's going to give it to us. I'm not going to argue with our first win of the... First win of the I was going to say of the night for me, but if you watch Monday and Wednesday, it's the first win of the week. So, okay, let's end this video on a high note. We got three games in here, so thanks for tuning in here. We're going to wrap up on Friday. We're going to play a couple games, and then I'm going to kind of give my closing thoughts on the deck for this format, I guess. So, thanks for tuning in. Check me out on MTG Study Hall. Check out the other videos on TCGU on all sorts of social media, particularly the Patreon. Like and subscribe, you know, YouTube-based things. Thanks for checking out the video. I hope you're liking the new format for Brawlin with Brett, and if you do or if you don't, please leave a comment. I appreciate it. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you on Friday. Have a good one.